Hello and a very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this morning's headlines. Juvenile justice bill slated for discussion in the Rajya Sabha today. Gang rape victims' parents meet leader of the opposition in the upper house. Assured bill will be passed. BJP strongly backs Arun. Jaitley says AAP's attempts to defame him will backfire. Delhi government holds special sitting of assembly today to constitute panel to probe alleged DDCA irregularities. Afghan intelligence thwarts attack on Indian consulate in Jalalabad. Arrests possible suicide bomber. This comes just days ahead of Prime Minister Modi's slated visit to Kabul. Nepal government decides to amend new constitution to address two key demands by agitating Madeshis. India welcomes move decided at emergency cabinet meet. And Sepp Blatter and Michel Platini vow to fight 8-year ban from football imposed on them by FIFA's ethics committee. Well, the Juvenile Justice Bill has been listed for business in the Rajya Sabha today. The government brought the supplementary agenda to take up the bill on Monday itself, but there was consensus to discuss the bill today. This comes after opposition parties objected to the government not listing the bill in Monday's business. Meanwhile, the parents of the victim met leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Ghulam Nabi Azad, seeking the passage of the bill. The bill allows minors between 16 and 18 years to be tried as adults in heinous crime cases. The parents later said that they have been assured that the bill will be passed today. Well, the petition challenging the release of the juvenile convict in the Delhi gang rape case was dismissed by the Supreme Court. In its order, the top court questioned the jurisdiction under which the juvenile offender's detention can be extended. The decision came despite protests in the national capital against his release.
A day after the release of the juvenile convict in the Delhi gang rape case, Rajya Sabha members seeking to take up the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Bill 2014, TMC's Derek O'Brien gave a notice under Rule 267 to suspend business and take up the bill. Reminding the House that it had only 3 days before the winter session ends, he pointed out that the bill is missing in the government's agenda.
This House, it is incumbent upon this House to listen to what is going on outside. Please, sir, let us rise above politics.
Leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad and CPM Sitaram Yechury criticized the government and said it could not accuse the opposition of scuttling the passage of the bill.
We do not want to be blamed for that. Today, it is SC, ST bill listed, which will pass in the afternoon. Let them list it for tomorrow, and we will have the discussion.
Sir, this is the charade that is being played. If you think that it is very important and very clear, I think so too, then you should have listed it. No, but why?
Defending itself, the government insisted that it listed the bill on previous occasions. It agreed to list the bill in the supplementary list of business.
जुवेनाइल जस्टिस बिल को 8 दिसंबर को 10 दिसंबर को 11 दिसंबर को लिस्ट किया. हम कल भी लिस्ट किया हुआ है हमने और हमारा कहना है कि आज ही इस पे चर्चा होनी चाहिए. अगर आम सहमति है तो आप जुवेनाइल जस्टिस पर चर्चा करिए क्योंकि ये संवेदनशील मुद्दा है.
In the post-lunch session, the bill was mentioned in the supplementary list. The House also agreed to discuss the bill on Tuesday.
I am agreeable for either. Only thing is that, as promised, that decided in the House, the juvenile bill should be taken up and passed. If not today, tomorrow. If not today, tomorrow.
The bill replaces the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. It permits juveniles between 16 and 18 years to be tried as adults for heinous offences. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, we just took a look at what transpired in the Rajya Sabha as far as the bill is concerned. Let's now take a look at what the Supreme Court said about the juvenile convict in the Delhi gang rape case.
In the absence of a stricter law, the Supreme Court on Monday rejected the petition filed by the Delhi Commission of Women that sought to block the release of the youngest offender in the 16 December Delhi gang rape case. The top court said it does share the concerns raised by those opposing the juvenile offender's release, but maintained it has to go by the mandate of the law. In this case, the law allows his release after a 3-year stay in correctional facility, the maximum for an underage criminal. The order came as a rude shock to the parents of the gang rape victim, who have been fighting for justice for 3 years now.
मुझे कोई उम्मीद नहीं थी। जिस तरह मैंने 14 में अपील डाला था उस तरह से खारिज हो गया था, तो मुझे सुप्रीम कोर्ट से कोई उम्मीद नहीं थी, कम से कम इस जुगनाइल के बारे में कि वहाँ कुछ होगा। मुझे पता था कि वहाँ भी खारिज हो जाएगा, इसीलिए मैं आज कोर्ट नहीं।
हमने महिलाओं की सुरक्षा के लिए ये बताया कि कानून नहीं है और जुवेनाइलों को एक राइट सबने दिया कि नहीं, तुम 18 साल से पहले कुछ भी कर सकते हो, तुम्हें कोई रोक नहीं सकता, तुम्हारे लिए कोई कानून नहीं है। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी अंततः उस पर मोहर लगा दिया कि 18 साल का कोई भी बच्चा किसी का मर्डर कर दे, किसी का रेप कर दे, तो कुछ भी कर सकता है, उसको पूरा अधिकार है।
Disappointed activists blamed parliamentarians for the delay in passing the revised Juvenile Justice Bill. The DCW called it a black day for women in India.
Supreme Court has not done justice to women. Women of this country will long, we were waiting that the justice, we would get it from Supreme Court at least. When the parliamentarians fail, it's the duty of the Supreme Court to come to the rescue, which we have not done.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उठते तक ये कहा कि हम आपके कंसर्न्स पूरी तरीके से शेयर करते हैं, लेकिन हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि कानून इतना वीक है। तो मुझे ये लगता है कि इस देश की राज्यसभा ने आज इस देश को धोखा दिया है और ये कानून राज्यसभा में इतने सालों से पेंडिंग है और वो पास नहीं कर रहे, और आज इस वजह से ये जो भी हुआ आज हुआ है।
The Supreme Court order also triggered a political blame game.
That is the legal process which they are following, the established legal process which they are following. But I don't think that can abdicate a collective responsibility. And the judiciary does have the flexibility to address an issue which is so sensitized by the whole country at this point. However, it is their wisdom if they believe that they can leave him without any other caveats or riders.
आज जो है वो इनको इसकी चिंता हुई है। हम शुरू से इस बात को कहते रहे, जिस दिन ये सत्र शुरू हुआ है, शीतकालीन सत्र, पिछले सत्र में हम लाना चाहते थे, पिछले सत्र में हम चर्चा के लिए चाहते थे, वो नहीं हुआ, लोकसभा से आ गया था। उसके बाद इस बार हम चर्चा के लिए चाहते हैं, तब नहीं होने दे रहे हैं, और उसके बाद इस वक्त हाई मॉरल ग्राउंड की बात करते हैं।
Amid growing criticism and a parliament logjam on the issue, the Juvenile Justice Bill was included in supplementary list of business on Monday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, after many days of disruption, the Rajya Sabha on Monday unanimously passed the crucial Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Amendment Bill of 2015. The House also returned 2 bills on supplementary demands without debate. These included the Appropriation No. 4 Bill and the Appropriation No. 5 Bill to meet the government's expenditure. Members from Treasury and opposition benches also had one more round of debate over more bills to be taken up.
We shall now take up clause by clause consideration of the bill. Clause 2 and 3 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye.
Meanwhile, the BJP has come out strongly in support of Finance Minister Arun Jaitley in the light of allegations levelled against him by Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Party President Amit Shah has said that the allegations are baseless and far from the truth, and that the party won't allow a conspiracy against him to succeed. Rallying behind Jaitley, Shah also raised questions over the legality of the commission of inquiry set up by the Arvind Kejriwal government to probe alleged irregularities in the Delhi cricket body, DDCA, during his tenure. Hitting out at AAP, the BJP president said that the AAP will harm itself if it tries to damage Jaitley's image through what he alleges are malicious attempts.
सार्वजनिक जीवन में जिस उच्च सिद्धांतों के साथ अरुण जी हैं, इसके साथ खड़ी है। अगर आप पार्टी ऐसा मानती है कि इससे अरुण जी की छवि धूमिल होगी, तो मुझे लगता है कि वो दिवा स्वप्न में है, इससे उनका ही नुकसान होने वाला है।
Well, as the winter session entered the final lap, the alleged DDCA scams sparked protests in the Rajya Sabha on Monday. The Congress went all out against the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Jaitley, however, stood his ground and challenged the party to initiate a discussion on the issue. Here are the details.
The Rajya Sabha witnessing disruptions on Monday over alleged irregularities in the Delhi and Districts Cricket Association. Seeking Finance Minister Arun Jaitley's resignation, the Congress gave an adjournment notice to discuss the issue. Refuting the charges as baseless,
Jaitley prodded the Congress to initiate a discussion right away.
I'll answer it right now. Ask him to start it right now. I am not going to live by these vague statements. Let him make any specific charge. I don't need any notice. I will answer it right now. If they have a single statement, let him make it right now. I will answer it right now.
Congress members raised their pitch against the finance minister and marched into the well. Actions that were strongly disapproved by the chair.
Even after finance minister said is ready for discussion, this shouting of slogan is unjustifiable and unacceptable. This is most unfortunate. Most unfortunate. Go and shout discussion. FM is ready for discussion. Why don't you do that?
Amid sharp verbal exchanges between the Treasury benches and the Congress, the escalation of allegations and counter-allegations disrupted both zero-hour and question hour. With little signs of reconciliations, the chair adjourned the House till 2 p.m. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has termed as wrong and baseless the allegation of corruption against himself. He said he has not been indicted by any investigating agency, but he found opposition from his own party colleague Kirti Azad. Azad made some serious corruption allegations against Jaitley regarding DDCA. Here's more.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has dismissed all corruption allegations against himself. He says the Serious Fraud Investigation Office has filed no report against him. Clarifying the charges against him, Jaitley said there was no corruption during the construction of the Firoz Shah Kotla Stadium when he was in charge.
जब कांग्रेस पार्टी पावर में थी, 14,000 की कैपेसिटी के नेशनल स्टेडियम ध्यानचंद स्टेडियम का रेनोवेशन 600 करोड़ रुपए में किया। यहाँ ब्रांड न्यू स्टेडियम 114 करोड़ रुपए में बच गया और उसको ये अपने आप में गलत मानते हैं। किसी एसएफआईओ ने ये रिपोर्ट नहीं दी कि ये खर्चा गलत हुआ।
Arun Jaitley was the DDCA chairman from 2008 till 2013. He is accused of massive corruption during that time. The issue was raised by Congress MP K.C. Venugopal in Lok Sabha. He demanded that a joint parliamentary committee investigate the charges.
Who is sending Honorable Finance Minister? Honorable Finance Minister saying it is my duty to defend the offenders. What does it mean, sir? Yes. Madam, what does it mean? It is very clear that Arun Jaitley ji is well aware of the fact, and there is a serious allegation he is also involved with this scam.
No. BJP MP Kirti Azad had also made serious corruption allegations against the finance minister in a press conference on Sunday. He reiterated these allegations in Lok Sabha on Monday and demanded a time-bound probe.
SFIO ने जो किया था वह एक सिविल था। अभी हमारी सरकार पूरी तरीके से इस भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध लड़ रही है। यदि न लड़ रही होती तो हमारी सरकार ने 23 अक्टूबर को सीबीआई का नोटिस डीडीसीए को 2008 से लेकर 2013 तक न दिया होता, जिसमें जितनी भी गड़बड़ियां और क्रिमिनल है वो सारे मामले सामने आएंगे, जिसमें आईपीएल और इन बॉक्सेस का भी मामला है। और उस समय अध्यक्ष 2008 से 2013 तक में तो सामने आ ही जाएगा मामला।
Azad has not backed down despite warnings from the party high command. In fact, he has challenged the finance minister to file a defamation case against him. Shyam Sundar's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, a day after Finance Minister Arun Jaitley filed defamation cases against Arvind Kejriwal and 5 AAP leaders who were allegations over wrongdoings in the DDCA, the Delhi government is slated to discuss the issue today. The Delhi government has called a special session of the Assembly to set up a panel to probe the alleged financial irregularities in the working of the Delhi and District Cricket Association and CBI raids on Delhi Secretariat. The Delhi cabinet on Monday approved the setting up of one-member commission of inquiry under former Solicitor General Gopal Subramaniam. The former SG has accepted the Delhi government's request to head the probe team. Meanwhile, noted criminal lawyer Ram Jethmalani will represent Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the civil and criminal defamation suits filed against him by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. Well, in an attempt to control rising pollution levels in Delhi, the government will observe its third car-free day today. The challenge this time is that it is being organized on a weekday, unlike the other car-free days. This comes as Delhi braces itself to implement the odd-even formula for cars for the first 15 days of January. In fact, Chief Minister Arun has written to the Prime Minister seeking his cooperation on the odd-even initiative. Kejriwal has said that directives or a public appeal by him in this regard would have a major impact. In a letter, Kejriwal apprised the Prime Minister that he, along with his colleagues, would carpool to office during the January 1st to 15 period when the vehicle rationing scheme will kick in, and urged Modi to request union ministers and secretaries to do the same. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Who should be in power is left to be determined by the people.
I want all minorities to have an honorable place in the Union of India.
Declaration was that zamindari would be abolished, for which fair compensation would be paid.
There is no dispute whatsoever that the executive should be separated from the judiciary.
The protagonists of Hindi, in their enthusiasm, have gone too far.
Greatest danger in the future may not be that the center will interfere too much, but that the units may resent the guidance of the center.
The future constitution of India would be a pyramidal structure based on the village panchayats.
I move that the constitution be passed.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is due to leave for Russia for an annual summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin from December 23rd to 24th. In a move to scale up cooperation in the nuclear energy sector, the two are likely to sign an agreement on Kudankulam units 5 and 6. The cost details of the project are yet to be finalized. They will also deliberate on accommodating more atomic reactors to meet the growing energy needs. It will be a major shift in policy, with the government looking at more reactors at one site in states. The cabinet approval also paves way for the first oil deal between the two nations since the Modi government came to power. In the first overseas acquisition by an oil PSU in NDA regime, ONGC Videsh Limited will be buying 15% stake in Russia's Vankor oil field for $1.26 billion. Well, the Afghan intelligence has thwarted a possible attack on the Indian consulate in Jalalabad. A possible suicide bomber has been arrested in connection with the case. This is an important development considering Prime Minister Narendra Modi is likely to visit Kabul on December 25th. Here's more.
Just days ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the Afghan capital for the first time, Afghan intelligence service thwarted an attack on the Indian consulate in Jalalabad. The security forces arrested a possible suicide bomber, identifying him as Qari Nazir, a Taliban recruit. He confessed to the plan during investigations. This is the second such incident within a week. Security personnel had arrested two IS terrorists who had planned to attack vehicles of the consulate. Indian officials said the attacks appear to be the handiwork of networks linked to Taliban. They said the matter is of grave concern and are awaiting further details. Last-minute preparations are underway to welcome Prime Minister Modi, who is to inaugurate the new India-constructed parliament building in Afghanistan. Modi is also expected to finalize arrangements for the handover of 4 second-hand Mi-25 ground attack helicopters to Afghanistan's armed forces. Afghanistan has pressed India to provide technical intelligence equipment to carry out surveillance on cross-border infiltration from Pakistan. Experts in Afghanistan say such incidents are foreseeable, intended to target relations between the two countries and Afghanistan's development. Indian diplomatic facilities have been repeatedly targeted in Afghanistan. The last was a strike on the consulate in Herat in May 2014, timed on the eve of Modi's swearing in. The consulate in Jalalabad has also been targeted earlier in 2013. A 3-man Taliban-linked squad was stopped by Afghan police, forcing them to prematurely detonate. 12 people were killed in that attack. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, India has called on all Nepali political forces to work together after the Himalayan country decided to amend its new constitution to address key demands of the agitating Madheshis. The MEA said that normalcy in Nepal would create a more secure climate for unimpeded commerce between the two countries. Here's more.
After a 4-month standoff with agitating Madheshis, a development towards resolution of the current impasse in Nepal. The Nepal government has taken a decision to amend the new constitution to address two key demands put forth by the agitators, that of proportional representation and constituency delimitation.
These decisions include amendments to the constitution on participation in the state organs on the basis of proportionate inclusiveness and delineation of electoral constituencies on the basis of population. The demarcation of provinces is also to be addressed through an appropriate arrangement in the constitution on the basis of political consensus.
The decision was taken at an emergency cabinet meeting held at Singha Darbar on Sunday. The cabinet has given a 3-point proposal that has been reached after several rounds of talks with the agitating parties. The meeting also recommended ways to address the provincial boundary issue within 3 months and urged the agitating parties to call off their protests.
We urge all Nepali political forces to now demonstrate the necessary maturity and flexibility to find a satisfactory solution to the constitutional issues through constructive dialogue in an agreed time frame.
The local Madheshis, who constitute nearly 52% of the Nepal's population, have been protesting for over 4 months against the 7-province model proposed in the new constitution. They say the said model will marginalize them. They have blockaded Nepal's border trade points with India, causing a shortage of essential goods and medicines. At least 50 people have been killed in protests since August. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the 6-day India-Bangladesh DG-level border talks start from today in Dhaka. The meeting between the BSF and the border guard Bangladesh come in the backdrop of the recent handing over of top insurgents, including Alpha leader Anup Chetia by the neighbouring country, and also efforts to end the cattle smuggling across the border. The Indian delegation also includes officials from the Home Ministry and other border enforcement agencies. The two sides are also expected to discuss measures to further enhance security along the border. A joint declaration of discussions will be signed between the two sides on Saturday. Well, Russian investigators said that the data on the flight recorder of the Russian warplane downed by Turkey last month has so far proved to be unreadable. They said that they have been unable to retrieve information from the black box due to extreme physical damage. It said that some 13 out of the 16 memory chips from the Su-24 bomber downed on the Syrian border were destroyed or badly damaged. Russia had hoped its contents would confirm Moscow's assertions that the bomber did not stray into Turkish airspace and was maliciously downed by Ankara. Turkey insists that the Russian jet had ignored warnings to leave its airspace. The incident had sparked a major bilateral crisis, with Russia imposing sanctions on Turkey. However, further work will be done to try and retrieve the data. Let's now get you a roundup of the other international news in our World Wrap. The European Union has extended damaging economic sanctions against Russia in light of Moscow's import ban on Ukraine. EU officials stressed there could be no let-up in sanctions until Russia ensures pro-Moscow rebels in eastern Ukraine stick to the Minsk deal. Russia said that the EU, instead of building constructive cooperation, continues its short-sighted game of sanctions. A large fire in the Brazilian city of Sao Paulo has destroyed parts of the historic 19th century railway station housing a popular museum. The Museum of the Portuguese Language was severely damaged. The blaze also destroyed the roof of the Station of Light, one of the city's busiest train stations. One fireman was killed in the enormous blaze, which raged unchecked for hours despite a heavy downpour. No one else was injured as the museum remains closed to visitors on Monday. Haiti's presidential runoff election has been postponed until January amid accusations of irregularities. There have been violent protests over the election since last month. Whoever wins these elections will face a daunting task, taking over the reins of the poorest nation in the Americas. Since the earthquake in 2010, the country relies largely on international donations and foreign aid from US and other countries. And finally, some sports news now. They've been slapped with an 8-year ban from football, but Sepp Blatter and Michel Platini have already vowed to launch an appeal. The FIFA president and head of UEFA were also fined for ethics violations over a big payment made to Platini, but still maintain their innocence. Here's more.
Scandal embroiled outgoing FIFA president Sepp Blatter, who spent 4 decades as head of the global game, came out fighting on Monday after the organization's ethics committee banned him for 8 years from all football-related activities.
I am now suspended 8 years. Suspended 8 years. But I will fight. I will fight for me and I will fight for FIFA. Suspended 8 years for what?
Unshaven, flanked by his daughter Corinne, and with a plaster stuck to his right cheek, Blatter blasted FIFA's ethics committee, saying that they had no right to relieve him of his duties and that he would challenge the decision in FIFA's appeals committee and, if necessary, the Court of Arbitration for Sport in Lucerne, Switzerland, and in the Swiss courts.
This committee has no right to go against the president. The president of FIFA can only be revealed from his activities by the Congress. And in the next Congress, which is scheduled on the 27th of February, before going to the election of the Congress, of the new president, the former president, I'm still the president, even suspended, I am the president.
Echoing the sentiment of his mentor, former head of European soccer Michel Platini released a statement on Monday, vowing to fight the decision by the Independent Ethics Committee, saying, "This decision does not surprise me. The FIFA Ethics Commission's procedure against me is a true mockery. It was orchestrated to tarnish my reputation." Platini, a former France international who was one of the finest players of his generation and had led the European soccer body UEFA since 2002, had been the favourite to win that election until he was suspended. Both Blatter and Platini have received the same ban for conflict of interest and disloyalty to FIFA over a $2 million payment in 2011 based on an oral contract. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it on this edition of the Breakfast News. Have a good day.